Hi folks, Roger Gates here, the founder of Build a Bug Out. Today I want to talk a little bit about how to read a map. This can be critical in a survival situation if you find yourself disoriented while you're hiking or out camping. This gives you more freedom to get out there and explore different areas if you know how to do these types of things. So today I want to show you a simple way of reading a map. It's very important. The first step in preparation for a trip or an outing is to find a topographical map of the area that you're going to be in. You can't just use Google Earth. That won't work. That won't be very helpful. You need to have a topographical map that shows grid lines and elevation lines and that sort of thing. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that. Again, with the lensatic compass I'm going to use today to show you how to navigate with a lensatic compass and a topographical map from Build a Bug Out. Okay, this is Map Reading 101 from Build a Bug Out. Okay, so what you're looking at here is a topographical map. This is a topographical map of the area that I currently am in. This is about an 8 by 5 stretch of land out here, so it's pretty big. For demonstration purposes. What I want to do is I want to teach you a little bit about some of the things that you want to be looking for to terrain associate. That's what we call that. It's getting to know the terrain that's around you to find your position on a map such as this, and this is a vast area, 40 square miles. So let's take a look at this here. Okay, the first thing we want to look at are things called hilltops. These are peaks. These circles like this here, and this here indicate that there are peaks or hilltops in the area that we're in. So to terrain associate, you would look for these types of things. These are going to be the high points of your terrain. Other things you want to be looking for are things like draws or spurs, saddles. Now this here is a perfect example of a spur. Even though this elevation, this map here, and this land that I'm on is gently sloping, you can see that these grid lines are sloping in a downward motion, in a downward area from this hilltop, and it's going and it's pointing downhill. So that means that this is high to low here. Let me do this. High to low. So in this point coming out here, that would be known as a spur. Okay. Now the inverse of that is known as a draw. So these types of things you can easily terrain associate with. A draw would be something like, let's see if I can find one on the map here. This area here, where this is high area. And this is low area. This is a canyon here, and you can see as the grid lines get closer together here, this is very, very steep. Probably a cliff straight down. Looks significant, probably 50, 60 feet. So that's a huge terrain feature that'll easily help you find out where you are on the map. If you can find that canyon and walk through this canyon here, you'll be able to terrain associate very, very quickly. But anyway, getting back to the draw, this here would be a draw, and you can see how it draws up. The arrows point upward, uphill, and then it continues all the way along here up this way. So that's a long sloping draw. It's a quick draw here, and then it's a long sloping draw here. Okay. Other things you want to look for are areas like ridges. Let's see if I can find a ridge here. Doesn't seem to be a ridge on the topographical map. Let's make one up. Let's say we had one of these circles on this end right here, okay, in this area. This would be considered a ridge. And you can almost consider this a ridge because it's such a gently sloping, this is almost a flat, long flat stretch of ground here. And what you'd be looking for, again, let's talk another feature you'll be looking for are things known as saddles. Saddles are areas between two hilltops, but the terrain significantly drops in between each of those. Now you can terrain associate very easily by thinking of a saddle as the front of the horse, back of the horse. This would be the saddle where you sit, so it would actually be in a bow shape, a concave area where you would easily see that from anywhere around looking on your map. So what I want to do today is I'm going to orient myself to the map. I'm going to find my position on here by terrain association, and then so the basics of reading a map are just terrain association and orientation to your orienting your map to the actual terrain. Okay, so we're gonna move on and get to that. Okay, folks, build a bug out, terrain association, and orientation to a map. Here I'm using the lensetic compass that I showed earlier. I'm using this, and I'm gonna do terrain association and orientation. So here's our map. On our map, north is in this corner. On our map, north is in this corner here. Okay, so on my compass I want to find north. Very easy. North is to my back right. So north is going to be that direction. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to orient myself the map to the compass, not the other way around. Point north in the northern direction. Lay my map on my compass on the map, and north points north. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is there are features on here. Hilltop. I'm just going to study the map for just a moment here. Of course, this is a huge feature. I can actually see this in the distance. It's pretty far away, but I don't know what part of this I'm looking at. I'm looking at it to this is to the north of my position, so I know that I'm in here somewhere. I would have to be. So what I'm going to look for is other features on the map to help me terrain associate. Okay, we've got a draw here coming off of that. I can't really see that. Okay, what I'm going to look for is high points on the map. And it looks like to my left here, I'm kind of down in some very low area. I can't see to my left up over the top of this hill here. So I'm guessing I'm in this area in here somewhere. Okay? That's my guess, because I've oriented myself to the map. I know this feature is out there in the distance. I can see it from here. And actually, let me see if I can show you that. Okay, here I'm going to zoom in on what I see from my position. Let me fix my camera so we can get a view there. Let's see if I can. Hopefully, I can zoom in on it close enough. It's a long ways out there, but you can see that's obviously a very high canyon wall that stretches across quite a distance, and I can see that with my naked eye. So I kind of know where I am. And let me show you the other areas that I see. Let me zoom back out of here. Now to my left, I see, as you look over here, you can see that I'm kind of down in a low area, and I turn this way. I can't see anything. I can't see very far in the distance at all. If I can see 120 yards, 150 yards, and then in this same direction, I can't see anything until I reach about here, and I can see a considerable amount into the distance. But there's really nothing out there that I can orient myself to the map to. So that that out there in the distance, that canyon wall, that helps me orient. Okay, so now that I'm oriented to my map, I've got my Lanzetta compass. I've used that to determine the direction north, and I've terrain associated. I found this this canyon in the distance. I know this is to my left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to walk to this hilltop. That's going to be the highest point for me, so I can get a vantage and see exactly where I am. Now, there's nothing really on this map that's going to lead me to rescue from this situation. So hopefully when I get to the top of this hilltop, I'll see something in the distance that's going to help me. There's no major roads. The only thing I may be able to do is follow this canyon here. Follow this canyon south. Typically follow the water south, and you'll find civilization. But what I want to do is I'm gonna get to this hilltop here, and my guess is that it's to my left now, or in a south direction from where I am, a southeast direction. So I'm going to use my compass to travel in a southeastern direction, and we'll see if I can find that hilltop. Alright folks, looks like I found the hilltop. I can see 360 degrees around me. Let me tell you a trick to using the compass. Okay? And I told you I wanted to travel in a southeastern direction. So what I did is I pulled my compass out, I looked south, okay, southeast, and I found a feature in the distance that I wanted to head to, because it's very difficult to see the hilltop with these long sloping grid lines out here. So I pointed myself in the direction I wanted to go, picked a spot in the distance, and I walked to it. And then I took another shot with my compass, my military Lanzetta compass from Build a Bug Out, and then I picked another spot in the distance, and I walked to that spot. So from here, I no longer need my compass at this point, because I can see in all directions. And let me tell you, what I see is a godsend. I got to pull you over here so you can look at what I see from my vantage point here at this hilltop, and it's quite a bit breezier up here than it was down there. So let me zoom in on this. Okay, I'm trying to find it on the camera here. It's way off in the distance. But it's a house. And you can see there there's some kind of a structure in the distance. That's where I'm going. That's my rescue. Let me get back out of the wind. Okay, so without the map, without the compass, I could have walked in any direction. I could have walked towards that canyon. That's 5-6 miles from here. I could have walked towards the other canyon, another 4 or 5 miles, and been walking for days looking for something like that. The map reading is critically important to your survival in an emergency situation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a detailed map reading video coming out here in the near future. But I hope this was helpful to you. Again, identification of land features is important. Orientation to your map. Getting a topographical map of the area you're going to be exploring is critically important to your success. And knowing how to read those features by just looking around your surroundings, and always be situationally aware, and you'll be able to get out of any situation with these tools. Again, this is Roger Gates with Build a Bug Out. Visit us at buildabugout.net.